let's take a look at the $300 billion annual enterprise software space. Of the 100 largest companies in that area, 64 in 2015 were using AI technologies. That's going up to 80 in 2016, so 25% year-over-year growth.
Now, before we continue, it's probably worth defining exactly what AI is, because there are lots of red herrings on this topic.
Well, there's the whole Skynet. You know, it's not Skynet. It's not even a computer that is smarter or as smart as a human being. Instead, what we are defining AI, and a subset of that, cognitive technologies, is the ability to do things that up until now only human beings have been able to do.
Okay, so cognitive technologies. Tell me a bit more about that. What are the main elements of it?
Well, there's 8 of them, but there's 3 I want to focus on in the enterprise software space. So the first one is speech recognition. That's the ability to hear and understand what somebody says and to transcribe it accurately. The next one would be natural language processing. Instead of having to enter Boolean search terms, you can just understand the way people normally speak. But the most important is machine learning. And this is where a computer program actually learns by being exposed to the data rather than being explicitly programmed by a human being.
Now, I've heard about elements of cognitive for a while, for decades. So I've tried out things like speech recognition for a long time, for more years than I'd like to admit. Is it really progressing? Is it getting any better?
We are at sort of ready for prime time. Enterprise grade natural language processing, speech recognition. So yes, we have hit that. I should make it clear that machine learning is probably the single most used form of cognitive technology in the enterprise software space.
Okay, and when it comes to AI and cognitive and all these sub-elements of it, then one of the big questions that comes up is this going to replace us? Or will it augment us? What's your view?
Well, when you look at the enterprise software space, there's kind of 3 roles. One is core functionality. In this one, it is purely augmenting. I would use a cognitive technology to do what I'm already doing, but do it a little bit better. The next is where I improve or do something that I wasn't able to do before, using machine learning to discover patterns in data. That's an entirely new thing. The third is automation, taking functions that were formerly done by people and instead allowing them to be done by computers. That is a part of it, but it's important to remember that all 3 are going on at the same time.
So that's all very interesting, but I find it a little bit theoretical. Can you give me some examples of how this may be applied?
Historically, doctors write things down. They write case notes down, often in terrible handwriting. What one medical software company does is it is automating that process so that those doctors' notes are automatically searched for allergies, for medication, for diagnoses, leading to significantly faster and cheaper outcomes.
And going back to augment versus replace, I mean, this doesn't replace doctors, is it?
Doctors are still there. Another good example would be in customer support. So it's important to realize that these enterprise software companies are not always including the AI and the software that's being used over the cloud, perhaps, for the customer. They're using it for their own internal processes. Customer support, good example there, 85% improvement in customer support. Volume of calls and emails by using cognitive technologies reduced by 22%.
So we're at 80 out of 100 of the top 100 companies with cognitive this year. Is that as good as it gets?
No, this is something that over the remaining years between now and 2020 will become increasingly common, approaching near ubiquity by that point.